Hello everyone, how you going? And welcome back to Lifehacks, the place where we all just come to try and make our lives that little bit more efficient. You know, you just try and pick up a couple of tricks along the way, try and make your life a little bit easier, whether it be kind of a small thing or even actually quite a big thing sometimes. Either way, it is always, as it says, you know, uncommon solutions to common problems. So yeah, it's definitely one of my favorites. We definitely learned a thing or two, but anyway, let's jump straight into it, shall we? So then, starting right off with, it also gets rid of bad smells. Put old newspaper at the bottom of your bin to absorb food juices. Yes, I feel as though this is the tried and tested classic. You know, you might do this in your home, you might have seen this at your friend's house, you might have even seen it in movies, for goodness sake. You know, it's just a classic tried and tested. You just pull that out at the end, or I guess actually it would go with it, but you know, it just soaks it all up, doesn't let it fester in the bottom of the bin, and it also stops them from actually leaking through the bag if the bag does have a hole in it or whatnot, so then you don't get it in the bin, and then you don't have odors like the title said. So yeah, this one is definitely just a little life hack, although I feel as though if your bin is kind of getting smelly, it might be a time to kind of take it out. I certainly wouldn't think that anyone should just be leaving their bin out for weeks and weeks and weeks just into a collection. I mean, even though that's kind of good because it means that you're not actually making that much rubbish, and that's always a great thing, I still feel as though there has to be some rules around it. You know, you surely just can't be letting it just absolutely be stinky and having to rely on newspaper to soak up the odors, so to say. It is incredible though. One of the things that I've kind of learned is if you actually do have a composter or a way of disposing kind of green waste, so to say, whether that be food scraps or eggshells, whatever kind of just leftovers from food waste that you have, being able to compost something like that just produces so much waste. It also makes your bin not have all the juices from, you know, things rotting and whatnot. And honestly, if you can get it going, and especially if you had a garden that you can kind of use it on, it just eliminates and reduces your waste by so much. So yeah, I guess in relation to this, that would be my life hack. You know, if you can get a compost going, just go ahead and do it. It's virtually no effort, you know. Even if you don't have a use for the compost, let's say, like I said, like a garden or anything like that, you can just kind of shove them food waste in there, and then really, to an extent, that is kind of all there is to it. It just kind of does its thing. I mean, obviously, there are some things that you really shouldn't be putting in the compost, so it doesn't reduce all waste. You know, generally, meat and dairy products don't exactly go in the compost. I feel as though generally people aren't just wasting liters and kilos of meat and milk, you know, especially if you have a dog or something like that, and then you go, oh crap, we just didn't use this meat in time, and we don't really want to have it ourselves, but here you go, just leave it to the dog. And then I feel as though people are just always saying that they never have enough milk, not that they're actually not getting through it. So yeah, you know, like I said, I just cannot recommend having a compost enough. And I guess just generally having good practice in terms of what you buy and what you eat. But hey, you know, if you have a stinky bin and you just can't find a way around it, then, you know, you might want to try this newspaper, see if it works for you, because I've certainly heard of this before, but maybe you haven't. You know, maybe it's going to be brand new to you and you go, oh my goodness, what a lifesaver. Curtain hack to hide off-center window. I feel as though I have never heard of having this as a problem that needs to be a life hack, but I guess that makes sense, you know. I mean, as much as I would certainly get used to it and probably not kind of think twice about it, as soon as I would notice something like that, it would annoy me so much. I'm going to go, oh my goodness, I just wish we had a full window that extends the whole way, you know. At least then you have symmetry in the whole room, and then you have symmetry in terms of your lighting and everything. But no, really, that entire design works flawlessly, from the curtains to the chair. It just really makes it so you wouldn't be ever going over there, so to say. So even though I've certainly never ever heard of this problem, and still I don't know if it is really a problem, but I guess someone has thought it's a problem, and I guess a lot of people have really thought it's a problem, because it wouldn't have got all those upvotes if people haven't gone, oh my goodness, that is a lifesaver. You know, this entire sub is virtually just people going, oh my goodness, how did I think about it sooner? And hey, really, besides the fact that it completely covers up the mistake of the window that I've got there, kind of like I was saying before, it actually just makes it look way nicer. This is obviously quite a bland wall. I don't know what that is. Maybe that's a PowerPoint or a switch or something like that. But either way, that is a fairly kind of bland wall. But then to incorporate some more texture and furniture and all those kind of things, especially the rug, it just makes it look so much more, I guess, magazine, so to say. And also, really, if you look at it, it is obviously a walk-in wardrobe, which really isn't the most kind of, I don't know, exciting room, so to say. But by doing that and just adding a little bit more color to the entire space, it really just does liven the whole place up, even though it's great. And so even though I hope that no one is actually having to deal with asymmetrical windows all over their house, I can only imagine that this would work even better in a kind of more exciting space. You know, whether that be the lounge room or a hallway or even a kitchen or something like that. Like really, whenever you take a kind of boring space like the one we have on the left, and then you make it more magazine, like I said, like the one on the right, certainly just takes the entire vibe and just can really make your day. So yeah, you know, this certainly doesn't apply to me. I certainly don't have a walk-in wardrobe, and I certainly don't think I have asymmetrical windows. I don't know. What do you think? But hey, I guess if this is the one thing that bothers you every single time you get changed, well, there you go. There it is. There's your life hack for you. Some paint hacks for your next weekend project. Alrighty then, what have we got? I can only imagine that we're going to have a little bit of the cling wrap on the lid to keep the lid from sticking, but here we go. Keep your old naps in a Pringles can for storage and protection. I certainly don't know what a nap is, or I certainly haven't heard of it. To the can to keep the top edge free from paint. Ah, yes, I've certainly actually seen that one before as well, but that one I certainly don't remember as much as a cling wrap. Add a touch of vase. Wait, what was that? A Vaseline? Vaseline to metal areas for easy paint cleanup. What? I don't even fully understand how that one would even work. I guess perhaps if you just paint it and then you're able to wipe it off at the end, because it kind of creates a, I guess, a liquid barrier between the metal and the paint. And there we go. There it is, like the one I said at the start. But here we go. I want to pause this one and read it. Keep your naps in an old Pringles can for storage and protection. I certainly have never heard it called a naps. That's just generally a roller for me. And also, I don't know how many Pringles cans I'm just kind of keeping around. I mean, maybe if I knew that I was going to be painting, maybe then I could keep one. But I'm certainly generally not just thinking about keeping my roller when I'm eating Pringles. And also, that is kind of assuming you can even get all the paint from the thing in the first place. I also reckon this one is pretty cool, considering it kind of just diminishes the need for the last one. You know, you just really don't need the cling wrap, because really, there's not going to be any paint on the rim for the lid to stick to in the first place if you just kind of wipe it off from the rubber band all the time. But no, I can definitely get behind every single one of these. these, there's not a single one that I go, oh, I don't know about that, you know, I don't know if that one would really work, I don't know how effective that would be. No, they're all just kind of really just general tips that would just kind of make your life easier. Might even save you having to kind of just be enraged because you actually painted the metal when you didn't want to, whatever it may be. It is definitely just like a, oh my goodness, thank God. And I guess really, like I said at the beginning of the video, you know, some of these things are just going to be so kind of little and so kind of meaningless in a way, but really when you kind of consider all the little things and all the paint and money and time that it might save you by doing just kind of little things like this, really just does make sense to just incorporate any and all of these things that you can, you know, whether that be this Pringles can, whether it be the rubber band. They really are just all very cheap and accessible ways to just, like I said, just save you money, at least, if nothing else. You know, it's not as though it's going out there and telling you to buy this $2,000 humidifier just so you can keep your paint rollers, you know, nice and wet so the paint doesn't dry out and then you can keep them forever. No, it's just a Pringle can. This one's just a rubber band. I'm fairly sure every single person got one of them lying around. The next one's just Vaseline, so that's pretty easy. And then the last one's cling wrap. Like every single one of these are just kind of household items and you're just gonna use them on a whim. So yeah, you know, just shout out to this guy. He's obviously kind of a painting professional. I can only imagine he is. Or he's certainly a serious DIYer if he's not a professional painter. Because I can only imagine that you pick up all of these things over years and years and years of experience. You know, you were constantly learning on the job just any way to make your life easier because that's what you do for a living. And if you can kind of make more money or if nothing else, just spend less money and less time on the job, then you're certainly going to be doing it. And so yeah, you know, I guess if we had every single professional all over the world sharing the tips and tricks of the trade, then everyone would just be an absolute monster at DIY. I guess thinking about it that way, it certainly makes sense why we don't get tips and tricks of the trade all the time because it would just put them out of the job. But no, everyone's going to have to do a little bit of DIY, whether that be painting or carpentry or whatever it may be in their life. And so really, if you can just learn it for professionals through a little video like this, well then I guess that is a life hack. Easiest way to get rid of snow off your car. Alrighty then, once again we just, oh my goodness, whoa, that is certainly an easy way. Holy moly, imagine if that was actually a heater or something as well. Well, wow. I mean, I certainly don't know how well this would work in terms of you've had massive snow. I certainly don't know if it'd be out of blow of 6 inches of snow or anything like that, but man, he has cleaned that entire car in what, like 20 seconds? How long's the video? Yeah, literally 20 seconds long. I mean, hey, if you've ever seen any of my other videos where there's ever been snow involved, you'll know that I just have no idea how anyone ever lives in the snowy or cold environments, but I guess in this case, it certainly makes sense how people can clean off their car in mere seconds, you know. I've only really ever been told about the morning water trick, and I guess that is actually more so to do with ice than snow, you know. But hey, considering one of the only things that I do know about living in a snowy environment is the fact that virtually everywhere it is illegal to drive with any kind of snow on your windscreen or your roof, because really, exactly like this guy is mimicking with a leaf blower, if you're driving along at some decent speed, then you're certainly going to have just snow just flying off your windscreen left, right, and center, and I guess that's going to be good at cleaning your car, but it certainly isn't going to be good for the person behind you that just suddenly gets an entire just wall of ice and snow coming at them. So yeah, you know, this is definitely a life hack made possible by modern technology. All of these incredible battery operated tools just make such a difference, whether that be in construction or DIY or even just cleaning your car. You know, it just makes things that were previously so cumbersome and bulky now just so accessible to everyone. You can just go out and buy one and it's just going to last forever kind of thing. You know, whether that be stick vacuums, leaf blowers, drills, whatever it may be. There's the sheer battery operated version of every single tool and machine out there, it seems. But really, after seeing what I can do to all the snow on the car, all I can think about now is what it would do to the road. You know, I just always hear about people shoveling out their driveways and whatnot, but I wonder if this one would be powerful enough, or even if you can get a big one that is more powerful, whatever, you know, just to be able to kind of just blow out your driveway. Just seeing how fast and how effective it is to just remove the snow off the car, I can only imagine, or at least I can only dream for the people living in snowy countries that something like that exists and you could just kind of just turn on a massive blow and it just completely just clears the driveway for you. But hey, you know, even though I feel as though this one is kind of the least applicable to me out of all the posts that we've seen so far, it is definitely going to be an absolute life hack out there for so many people that are just kind of shoveling out their driveways or just kind of, I don't know what you do to a car, just shovel off your car. Either way, whatever people have to do to kind of clean off their cars, even though you might have to go and invest in a leaf blower, I feel as though if you just equated all the hours that you spend kind of cleaning off your car and whatnot, I reckon investing in something like this would certainly just make you money in the long run. Very simple method to fix a door that is offset. Alrighty then, what do we got? Here we go. Do I have to turn him up? No, he's just quiet. Let me listen. Alright, pro tip, another pro tip like the painter. So it's rubbing, whether that be from the door kind of falling or whether that be from the house sinking, who knows. Take a hammer, tap on the lightly on the hinge. I actually reckon I might know kind of where this one is going to go. Let me see. Is he going to kind of shim it up and then just bend the hinges back to where they actually need to be? I reckon that is going to be exactly what he does. If this is exactly what he does, I have actually seen, yeah, there we go. Use wires to line up the hinge. Like I was saying, I have actually seen this one before, and really, it's no black magic ridiculousness or anything like that. It just makes so much sense how it would work. That's the only thing it's sitting on, so it makes sense that when you change the angle, then you change the angle of the door. I reckon what I like most about this entire thing is just the fact that it looks as though it's about a 45-second fix just to be able to fix the door that is just rubbing. You know, you might have been kind of tolerating or living with a problem like this for years, and you go, oh my goodness, it would have been a 45-second fix. You know, you just grab some pliers, a 1 or a 2 mil packer, and then you just kind of bang it and it's fixed. It's that easy. I mean, even though I'm certainly not a pro, I feel as though if I wanted to add my own pro tip, I feel as though you certainly should be kind of checking it against the other hinges as well. You don't want them to be constantly fighting each other, because if you've got kind of mismatched angles of the hinges, then they're just going to be fighting each other. So you might have to do something to them as well. But really, if it's just kind of a small adjustment like this, maybe just the top one will do, you know, maybe it'll just kind of pull them into alignment, and that's the only thing that you have to change. And really, I guess in that case, then it will just be a 45-second fix for just such a quality of life improvement. So yeah, you know, even though though, like I said, I haven't seen this one before, it's just once again, like that we had with the painter, it's just such a pro tip that really can just kind of subtly change someone's life. Like I said, if you've just been living with a squeaky door, just a door that won't even close at all, and then you're just this easily able to change the entire kind of annoying part of your life, then oh my goodness, it's just incredible. You know, like I said in the beginning, I feel as though life hacks are just such a good sub, because really, I reckon if every single one of these posts was applicable to you and you actually implemented them into your life, you would suddenly just be less annoyed, less stressed, and just work more efficiently, and just, I don't know, just generally have a better life. So yeah, it really is just great when we have all these professionals just helping the common man out, just with their DIY or whatever it may be. Travel pillow helps you lay down with headphones. Oh my goodness, I can already think about how this would work. Whoa, that is absolutely incredible. Obviously, it's kind of inverted to how you would think to use it. You know, usually you kind of have the opening around the base of your neck, but it makes so much sense that when you turn your head sideways, you know, it's always kind of pressing on your head. It's just uncomfortable, and even with earphones, you can barely do it. Or at least for me, I just can't do it. You know, just any kind of pressure on my ear, it just feels uncomfortable. So really, there's just no music unless it's coming from a speaker or something like that. But no, really, this is just an absolutely perfect device that has the big hole for the ear cup, and then it even has space for the headband to kind of creep out there through the neck part. I mean, I certainly haven't traveled recently at all, but I'm kind of surprised that I haven't seen this when I have traveled, you know, just that I haven't seen people walking around with just two of these, one around the neck and one on their head, just ready to kind of lay their head down or lay their head down, just whatever way they want. You know, they might be wearing headphones, or they might just want to sleep on their neck. You know, whatever it may be, people just want to be comfortable in the long haul trips, and if you've got headphones on, that is a great way to kind of drown out the noise, but then you just kind of can't put your head anywhere. So even though I haven't traveled any time recently, and I certainly don't see myself traveling anywhere in the near future, this just makes so much sense, and I feel as though I might even incorporate it when I do eventually go and travel, you know. And so really, as surprising as it may sound, considering I just said I won't be going anywhere soon, I really do feel as though this one is the most applicable one to me so far, and it just makes so much sense. And really, think about it some more now. I'm surprised you don't just walk through the airport and just get bombarded with these pillows that are actually designed to kind of suit headphones, you know. Like, these headphones are exactly made for airplane travel, and so really, I'm kind of surprised that they don't just have a kind of a pillow attachment just built in, or, you know, there's something you can buy. Either way, I feel as though specifically designed headphone travel pillows, or really just the entire market of headphone pillows, is just absolutely missing out if you're not in it. So yeah, really, this is an absolute life changer for me, and you know, eventually I just cannot wait to use it. Kid shares the hack his grandma came up with to charge cell phones during a power outage in Texas. Alrighty then, let's see what he's got. I guess we're gonna have to listen to him and see what he has to say, so let's see. Yeah, I did actually hear a few things about this. Alrighty, grandma figured it out. What have we got? A 9-volt? Wait, what was that? I need a
fountain pen spring.
I have absolutely no idea what she just says. It sounded like she said foam pin string to me. But anyway, I guess I'll just try and figure out it through context or something like this. So we've got a 9-volt, whatever that thing is, a charger, and then a car charger. Okay, so that makes sense. What is going on right now? This is the most ghetto charger I have ever seen. Oh yeah, hang on. They were about to demonstrate to me how to charge the phone when the phone wasn't even plugged in. That would have been absolute craziness, you know. If you were able to wirelessly charge through a 9-volt, that is a lot of power. That is an absolutely beastly kind of foam pin spring or whatever it may be. To be able to create a big enough magnetic field to be able to charge the phone through a 9-volt battery, that's pretty incredible. But no, anyway, let's see how it actually works. Here we go. Oh my goodness, what is going to happen? I just really don't see how that would work. I mean, I guess I have to pause it because I want to talk and she was talking, but I guess generally car chargers are kind of designed for 12 volts. So perhaps it is actually just completely relying off the transformer in there, and it just will charge at a super slow rate. Because hang on, I just went and got a typical charger and they are generally rated for, what is it? It's 0.15 amps. So I guess actually, considering it is a 9-volt, I don't know the actual kind of amperage, but I can't imagine that they wouldn't be able to display, what is it? Actually 0.15 amps. I certainly feel as though the 9-volt would be able to supply something like that, because, you know, otherwise there's just virtually no power at all. So perhaps then it can actually kind of equal that out, and even though you don't have the voltage there from the usual, what is it, like the 110 to 240, you can certainly still achieve the kind of power delivery requirements to be able to charge the phone just off a 9-volt, which is crazy. But like I said, I don't know how long you'd be able to charge it, you know, considering the total power in a 9-volt is going to be nowhere near the kind of max capacity of a phone. But no, really, considering this is no kind of big budget 5-minute craft kind of video, no way they'd be able to fake something like this. So obviously it will work. I mean, even though I did kind of just talk about the power requirements and maybe it'd be able to do it, I don't know how good it would be for the phone to kind of be able to do that long term. But hey, you know, I guess like the title said, it's just kind of for a power outage, not for a kind of apocalyptic power outage where it just goes on forever. So hey, you know, I guess if this is going to be an emergency situation where you're going to be at like 2 or 1%, and I guess if you just know that you might need your phone in an emergency situation, you're just going to run out of power at any moment, well, I guess this is going to be better than nothing, isn't it? So yeah, you know, it is definitely unorthodox and it definitely isn't kind of traditional method of charging, but hey, if it works and that's all you need to do, then go for it. I mean, I guess in saying that, I certainly don't take her any responsibility for any damages caused by doing this method, but hey, you know, she certainly got it to work, and that's all you need to do, then there's your life hack for you, just ride on a silver platter. Tying lengths of knots in 30 seconds. Man, that's a mouthful. Hey, here we go. What have we got? We got the Australian tying lots of knots in a rope.
easier.
Okay, all right. This is right up my alley. What have we got here? Yeah, you know, just like a traditional kind of climbing rope, or, you know, what is it called? Tug of war rope. That's what I'm trying to think of. But here we go. Oh, I can see where he's going with this. Yeah, that makes so much sense. You know, this is actually what your headphones do in your pocket somehow. There we go. Just absolutely tie it through, and then you're just able to pull it through, and it just one by one. Look at that. They just all pop out. That is incredible. I mean, it really does show you how your headphones are able to create such incredible kind of patterns and knots, all just within the confines of your pockets. But man, does this photo just incorporate every single little thing that I look for in a life hacks video? You know, it's got ropes and adventure skills. It's just got this random Aussie dude just barefoot by, I don't know where he is, but some kind of river or lake or whatever. And really, it's just so quick and easy, both in actually doing it and his explanation. It doesn't waste any time. I mean, hey, it's kind of cool and easy as this is. Certainly don't come brain to me if you ever want to undo that. That is just going to be a nightmare to kind of feed all the rope out of every single one individually. It's going to take ages. So I guess kind of like he said, it's certainly only going to be something you want to do once, whether that be, you know, like you said, up a money bank or whatever it may be. So yeah, even though this one certainly isn't very applicable in terms of, I can't imagine many people just going out and needing this kind of thing every day of their lives. It's certainly a very cool and efficient thing to just kind of have up your sleeve. If you ever do need it, then there you go. You just save yourself some of the most boring 5 minutes of your life just individually tying all those half hitches in there. So yeah, I guess really what I was going to say, but so this guy is obviously a professional, just like the painter, and what was the other guy we had? I can't even remember right now. Either way, he's obviously just a professional sharing absolutely pro tips, you know, and you just can't live without them, really, can you? And so now finally at the top of the month for life hacks, we have Stephen Fry gives an amazing tip to help out parents. Hello, I've got a riddle for you. Life forever. Well, actually, I reckon if I kind of pause it there and think about it for a second, any of these kind of 10-second posts that we've seen on life hacks this month could definitely change your life, and I guess by proxy, just your child's life as well. But no, I guess this one is definitely going to be one I'm going to have to listen to, so I'm just going to kind of listen.
Can double the chance of a child becoming
Okay, that's pretty
good.
cool. They don't have to tell them. Yeah, I have actually kind of heard about all the kind of educational struggles both through university and schools and everything. You know, people are just going to be behind because they actually can't learn what they were traditionally learning, and so they're just going to be behind, and that's going to put them at a disadvantage. It's just going to be a massive thing for society to deal with as a whole, and I just don't know how they're going to really do it, but I guess it's just going to be something that has to be addressed, because there's just going to be a whole massive proportion of people that would generally not have been behind that are now just going to be behind just because of, well, something that is completely out of their control, obviously. Oh my goodness, actually I have heard about this. Feelers or it might actually be on a life hacks before. We've just heard about if you turn on the subtitles, it drastically increases their kind of comprehensive ability. Or I guess actually what they're doing is just making that connection between the written word and the spoken word. And so really, I guess considering people generally speak quite quickly compared to kind of written, especially compared to how fast some children read, you know, even if they're only picking out a word or two the entire time the subtitles on the screen, it is definitely just over time going to develop their ability to just read faster, and really also probably by proxy just increase their vocabulary and just their ability to talk. So yeah, really, it is honestly just an incredible kind of idea and concept that is obviously, like you said, just research proven and whatnot. You know, exactly like you just said, it has the chance to double the child's ability to become good at reading. That is just an absolutely extraordinary figure, you know. Seeing 100% increase in any kind of statistics is just going to be an absolute ludicrous amount. So yeah, really, I feel as though this is just an absolutely extraordinary life hack just to help kids out and just give them that extra leg up just early in life, you know. I guess this research is only kind of focused on children, but I do wonder if this could kind of have an effect on adults as well to kind of increase their vocab or speaking ability, or even just how they structure sentences, whatever it may be. Even though they're often quite intrusive, I do wonder if this is kind of a good thing for just everyone to be doing. But no, I can definitely see why this is the top of the month for life hacks, considering just kind of implementing something that, like you said, is just absolutely free, takes seconds, and it's something that could completely change the entire trajectory of the child's reading ability. It is honestly just absolutely incredible, and I feel as though something like this should just be shared to every single parent and just person out there. But anyway, that is going to do it for the top of the month for life hacks, so thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to do the YouTube and other things down below and let me know which one of these posts was your favorite. Other than that, you know, we check out awesome posts all over Reddit, so make sure you check some of the other videos out now, or maybe even just want to consider subscribing so don't miss another one of these in the future. But all in all, have a good one and see ya.